Hey everybody, and welcome to Cross and Kin in the Cross and Kin Garage. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Randy, and you may notice we've not really made a whole lot of progress on the construction project we have going on here in the Crossing King Garage. We've got books that need alphabetizing. We've got records that need categorizing. We've got videos. Well, they're inside and
For the
they
most
got to
part.
remodel. Anyway, we've got stuff that we need to figure out and get it organized so we can actually enjoy it. Have you got the same kind of trouble? Summer got you down with all the stuff?
Well, get ready because we've got a battle for the ages. Today we are returning to Versus with the Battle of the Rock Bands.
Well, and this gives us an opportunity to maybe even think about some of the categorization and alphabetization of the discography of the. Well, anyway, you get the idea. It's versus. We're going head to head with two of our favorite rock bands.
Today we have Styx versus ELO. That's Electric Light Orchestra,
Correct,
right?
absolutely.
All right, we've got Styx versus ELO in a battle of the ages.
Now let me qualify a couple of things. Yes, I get the fact that these bands are a little bit different in their approach to things, in their musicality. We're going to talk about some of those characteristics. And in verses, this is really not as close of a comparison as our normal verses might be. So there's some really dramatic differences in these bands, and they're both bands that I truly love. I
Both from
love
the
their music.
80s, both really did embrace the synth sound of the time. Both have excellent harmonies on their songs. That's kind of why we went with this matchup. All right, so let's get down to it. We have 5 categories that these bands are going to battle through. So let's get going with round 1, first albums.
I would have to say this one will go to ELO because Styx's first album was just
They didn't have Tommy with their first album
right.
yet,
Tommy
did
Shaw
they?
was not on their very first album, and this was Lady was on their first album, but the rest of the album just really isn't very good.
Mm.
ELO, however, came out. They were
Swinging.
well, yeah. I mean, they knocked it out of the park with their first record. It was an introduction record, but their music was so different
Mhm.
with the synth sound, with Jeff Lynne's production and songwriting, and with the introduction of actual strings.
Mhm.
It was so different for the late '70s, which both of them. Styx could trace their roots almost back to the late '60s, early '70s, but both of them really came into their at least people's knowledge of them 74, 75, 76. ELO more so early with success than Styx later on with success. First album I would have to say goes to ELO.
I'm not going to debate you on that.
I'm not recalling the singles that came off of it, but in just my recollection, it had a stronger staying power. If you go back and you look at record sales alone, I think you'll see that ELO's record sales off their first record was better than Styx's.
All right. Up next, we have singles. I'm going to fight you just a little bit on this one because I vote Styx here.
I agree.
Because I'm assuming their singles are what's on that best of album that we liked or that I like. That's where I know most of my
Best of
Styx.
Styx?
Yes. It's got Lady 95,
Come
Too Much
Sail
Time
Away.
on My Hands, Come Sail Away. It's got all of them. Mr. Roboto, even though nobody likes Mr. Roboto, or nobody likes the Kilroy album anyway. But it's got all of the great ones, and I'm assuming all of those are their singles.
They are, and the thing about it, I would concur with this. While ELO had Strange Magic, Evil Woman, a lot of their stuff came earlier. ELO's single sales probably did not equal Styx's.
Those Styx for singles?
Styx gets this one for singles. If nothing else, for Renegade.
Yes, love
Renegade
Renegade.
is just this black hole that
The jig is up, the news is out.
exactly.
They finally found
And people
me.
found that single in a
Blue Collar Man also.
huge way. Blue Collar Man, not so much as Renegade, but it was
still,
good.
that's one of their singles.
Snowblind. I mean, they had so many good singles. And if you get past Mr. Blue Sky, Evil Woman,
Mr.
Strange Magic, Rollover or Rock and Roll is Here to Stay. No, Shamalama Lama, Rock and Roll is King. I had to sing it. I'm sorry. You get to Don't Bring Me Down later
That's the
on in
one
the
I was trying to
80s.
think of.
Don't Bring Me Down could come close to equaling Renegade, but I just exactly. Man, this one I would have to say goes to Styx just because in looking at, if you go sales, I think Styx would outdo them sales wise in just total number.
Mhm.
As well as if you go listen to classic rock radio today, you'll hear more Styx than you do ELO.
All right. Up next, we have big concerts. Styx, I know, has played the Super Bowl twice. They played it once with Kilroy, and then they got to come back and they didn't get booed off the stage.
And it was a greatest hits kind of package, which they needed to do. I give this one to Styx just because,
That was
um,
also after Dennis DeYoung left when they
yeah,
got to do it the
their
second time.
theatrics during their stage shows, um, regardless of how Kilroy,
Was received. Well,
Paradise
yeah,
Theater was
Paradise Theater
the
is great.
concert show to go to in the 80s. Paradise Theater was hands down the absolute best rock and roll concert show I've been told by friends ever. I didn't, unfortunately. It's one of those that, man, I hate that I missed Paradise Theater. ELO had some really incredible production, lighting just out the wazoo. Jeff Lynne is a techie guy, and it's just, but they just were eclipsed. If you in a one-on-one comparison, they were not to the level of production quality. I'm told.
For the theater kids.
Well, yeah, basically. Sans Kilroy.
Yes, I
Kilroy
know.
got panned. I liked it personally, but it was a Dennis DeYoung.
It was
Um,
a weird rock opera.
it was a Dennis DeYoung vehicle that was promoting Dennis DeYoung. I mean,
Ah.
I'll just call it what it was.
Yeah,
So that is rock
Styx.
and roll concert goes to Styx.
Okay, big concerts goes to Styx. All right, up next we have production. So
Now let's talk a little
you've
bit about
already talked
this.
about the producer of ELO a
Well, Jeff
lot.
Lynne was the lead singer, and he, in my personal opinion, Jeff Lynne is as big a musical genius as Michael Jackson. I think the creative things he did with ELO far surpass the things that Styx did in their studio. Okay, we're talking just the record production itself. I like harmonically where they come from. Their strange magic, it just is crazy good. Evil Woman, the harmonies that coming out of that, strings in a rock and roll band is just mind blowing. Styx is a rock and roll band from Chicago, which it is just it Styx is so good. But I think their albums overall miss the production quality that Jeff Lynne, with his techie mind, was able to master. You go, and I know this is an aside, and I've mentioned it already. The Traveling Wilburys, two records that they did, massive mega band there. Jeff Lynne being he and Tom Petty being the driving force behind that. The production quality on those are coming straight from the ELO records, and you get to Mr. Blue Sky. You get to some of the audio things that manipulate the voice box type stuff, and Jeff Lynne mastered that in the late '70s and early '80s. Styx. They're just give me a rock and roll band. It's a free for all. That's a Ted Nugent quote, but it's a they are exquisite in what they do. But as far as record production, I'd give this one to ELO.
Okay, that makes our fight even.
It's a
That
good thing we
makes
only
it
have 5 categories, right?
all
We've got
right.
a tiebreaker regardless, right?
Yep, and
Okay.
our tiebreaker is staying power. Now, this is one of those where I have points for both sides.
Okay.
So Styx, their stuff gets used in commercials and movies a lot. Um, Especially Too Much Time on My Hands gets used a lot. Come Sail Away recently got used in the trailer for Percy Jackson and the Olympians season 2. Um, uh I feel like Paradise Theater gets used in like hotel commercials. Like Rockin' the Paradise gets
Mhm.
used in travel commercials a lot. Um ELO, however, thank you for reminding me that Mr. Blue Sky is theirs. Because Baby Groot's dance at the beginning of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is set to Mr. Blue Sky.
Well, here's a couple of things to consider. Yes, how are they used in 2026 or the last five years or so?
Mhm.
How have the band's music been used?
And are they still touring?
Are they still touring? ELO broke up.
Uh-huh.
Jeff Lynne left the band. They continued on as ELO 2, and it just wasn't really.
It wasn't ELO.
It wasn't ELO. It was not as good as it was. Jeff Lynne was the driving force. I've said that time and time again. However,
times.
Styx is still touring.
Yeah, they replaced Dennis DeYoung with the guy that jumps off the piano.
And he's a good replacement.
And he's a good replacement.
Unlike the lead in Chicago, who is not a good replacement, the guy who replaced Dennis DeYoung is a good showman. He's a good keyboard player. He is a good vocalist.
And he gets along with Tommy and KY.
And he gets along with Tommy and KY. And it's just, and Kevin Young. And the Pinozzos, who still, I think, have their fingers in the pie.
One of them died.
You know, one of them died.
The
but
bass player is still
right.
alive, though.
Every once in a while, he'll come and play. But Tommy Shaw is the driving force behind Styx now. Still touring. They're still putting, I want to say, as of 2021.
2020.
Yeah, 2020, somewhere around in there, they put a record out. And
all
so,
the bands that had studios in their
well, absolutely. I
houses
mean,
put something out.
Exactly. If you
Because
still
what
had
else
a band,
were you supposed to do?
right? You recorded and you put all your tracks together, and you redid an entire way of doing music. I would give this one to Styx. I think their staying power, just in the fact, not necessarily usage of their hit singles, but just in the fact they're still touring and they're still putting out records in the last 5 to 10 years.
Styx wins!
That was 5?
That was 5!
Okay.
Styx wins. They took singles, big concerts, and staying power. ELO took first album and production.
I think that's fair. I think now here's another. Again, let me just say, really, we shouldn't have compared these two bands because they're so different. They're just so different. I love both of these bands. I've got several of their records. I think I've got just about everything from Styx, most everything from ELO before Jeff Lynne left.
Do you have Tommy's Bluegrass album?
I don't think I've got Tommy's Bluegrass album. It may be out here somewhere. But yeah, go check out Tommy Shaw's Bluegrass album. It is phenomenal, the tracks that I've heard. So I mean, all of them are incredible musicians. Jeff Lynne, again, is such an incredible producer and an innovator in music production and quality and studio. They may have even worked together at some point or another. I don't know that for sure, but the comparison for this versus, I'm not sure it was an even comparison. Styx was probably going to win out on this one regardless, just because they're just a good rock and roll band that are still around today. And they didn't have a breakup when their lead singer left. Anyway, Styx wins this episode of Versus.
Let us know what other bands, movies, TV shows, whatever y'all would like us to put head to head next. We do enjoy doing verses. It is very fun for us, especially since it doesn't take very long to film out here in the garage.
You know what I think would be fun? Lord of the Rings versus
We did Lord of the Rings
Narnia.
versus Harry Potter.
Let's do Lord of the Rings versus Narnia.
Let's not.
That would be hard.
No.
I think that would be a more even comparison.
It would be very hard.
Do you want to see Lord of the Rings versus Narnia as our next versus?
Nobody
Let
does.
us know down in the comments.
Nobody does. Nobody wants to see that.
No, I bet you they do.
Okay, tell you what, if we can get 10 comments telling us to do Lord of the Rings versus Narnia that aren't all from you, we'll do Lord of the Rings versus Narnia.
How many profiles do I have?
You have one.
I have one. Well, that's it. I mean, but we're glad that you joined us today for just a fun exercise in rock and roll and experiencing our reorganization progress here in the Crossing King Garage. Hey, if you'd like to help, just let us know in the comments.
Be sure you leave us a like and subscribe, and make sure that you
ring that notification. Ring my bell. Ring the bell. So you know every time we post here at Crossing Kin, which is usually every 2 weeks.
Someone stop him from doing that again. Put that in the comments as well.
Okay, anyway.
I'm Kristen.
And I'm Randy, and we look forward to joining you here as a part of the family here at Crossing Kin in the Crossing Kin Garage.